Yo, how's it
Am I too
going?
loud? Am I too loud?
No, I think you're good.
All right, perfect.
Um, yeah, no, you should be good. So where are you from?
I am from Toledo, Ohio.
Okay, cool. And then who do you play?
I play a mix of people. Like, I picked up Captain Falcon recently, and my Captain Falcon's not bad, so I like playing him. Cloud, other than that, and Mario.
Okay, cool. Is there anything specific you want to work on, or do you want to just see what I can kind of pick out as far as habits?
Yeah, just habits really, because like I mean, from like what people have told me, I haven't really gotten too much information on my bad habits, so it's something I definitely want to learn more about.
Okay, awesome. So I do have a room up, so whenever you get the opportunity.
Did you add me?
Yes.
Or it doesn't say. Hold on. Do I have to accept you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Hold on. All right, there we go. So I'm probably gonna start with Falcon first, just because I just want to like warm up a little.
Yeah. And if you want me to go a specific character or anything, or you want a specific stage, this is definitely your time. So don't be afraid to ask for that specific thing. I'm gonna start with Ryu just because that's probably who I'm most comfortable like picking out habits and that sort of thing with.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's
but
totally fine.
I do know that matchup is kind of like weird for some people, and I do know that the Falcon matchup is very, very volatile. So I might swap around a little bit and see what else I can pick out too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start Cloud then, because I definitely don't have much information about the Ryu matchup.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't really care about stage either.
Awesome.
I'm lagging pretty badly.
Yeah, the connection feels good for me. It's definitely like not as good as offline, but this feels really good as far as Wi-Fi goes.
Okay, maybe I need to...
How often do you play Wi-Fi?
Not very often anymore.
Okay, because I'm guessing that's probably why it feels a little bit rough.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not like super awful for you, because it is something that like this is actually kind of a pretty good connection.
Yeah, definitely. But like, I don't know. There's definitely some things where I was like, there's feels like a little delay here. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll just take like a game or two to warm up and get used to it. Because I usually just play like training mode. Because I work from home, so I can just like mess around in training mode. But I can't play for Glory because it requires too much attention.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, you were definitely trying to play really reactive, which I think is like good with Cloud, but it's definitely a lot harder to do on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not like picking out anything like awful, which I think is mostly just because it's the Ryu matchup. And I can tell that
Yeah.
you definitely like aren't really comfortable with like Ryu's, like the amount of lag that Ryu has on things and the amount like how far his hitboxes extend, like his like range and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna list off a couple of characters that I'm like comfortable playing, and you give me one that you want me to try, just so I can kind of like get a feel for your
Yeah.
habits against something that you're comfortable against. So like Sheik, Fox, Bayo, Mewtwo, Diddy.
Fox is good.
Fox is
I
good?
always, yeah, we don't have any Ryus in our area, so like I don't really get any practice against them. But like Fox is pretty definitive, and so is Diddy. Bayo, of course, but I mean not so much. There's only like 1 or 2 Bayos in our region, so
Okay, cool.
Smashville is always good though, because I mean that's where we go, all the time anyway. So I'm totally fine with Smashville.
Okay, awesome.
All right, the double footstool.
Yeah, that's something that you kind of have to watch out for. If you ever get fair footstool, then you're like, I'm not dead. It's always worth it just to do like jump air dodge.
Yeah.
I think you would have still lived if you did jump air dodge. I don't think you were too far down. I think with Cloud's jump, I think jump air dodge is fine. So I'm not like really seeing anything awful still. It's just kind of like, I guess it's kind of like decision making stuff right now.
Yeah.
So like for example, near the start of the game, I got you on ledge, and you did like up B coming down and knocked me away from the edge, and then rather than getting back on stage, you
I didn't mean to do that. I
that
play
was
a little
misinput?
melee
Okay, cool.
sometimes. Yeah, that's just bad habit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's just like, I think it's a kind of like a combination of a lot of that little sort of stuff, that game that was just like putting you in bad situations that were getting you punished. Oh god. That was a misinput. Nice, really good catch.
Thank you. So something I noticed that I did wrong or have trouble with is like when I'm up in the air, especially against someone like Fox who can continually juggle you.
Yeah.
Like I struggle, like, you know, if you use both of your jumps and all you have to recover is up B, like I feel like I'm just floundering. Like at that point, like my adrenaline spikes and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like I really don't know what to do.
So I say with Cloud, like obviously you don't want to get caught without tools in the air. So for the most part, it's either timing an air dodge correctly or beating your way out with a hitbox. So with Cloud, like obviously down air is really good. Except that can get beat. That was getting beat out by Fox up air a couple of times just because I was getting my Fox up air in there just before the down air came out. But if you have that down air coming down and you kind of get it out before I get to your height, it can often just like let you closer to the ground even if you don't get all the way to the ground. So that's one thing, is like down air is really good. Even like Nair coming down, just like swinging past the bottom part of you can sometimes cover you. As well as just using, like sometimes even just using one hit of cross slash just to stall and kind of like mess with your opponent's timing is really good. That's of course when you don't have limit. So those are all things that you can kind of do and kind of mix up to get yourself out of that disadvantaged state. Because it's definitely hard. One thing that you can do that's a little bit scary is Cloud, but if that sort of thing is happening to you and you find that you have a really hard time getting out of it against whatever character you're playing against, is just like keep fading to one side and then just go to ledge if you're having an easier time at ledge. Like that's something I do a lot against Rosa when I play as Ryu, is sometimes she'll get me in the air and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this. And I'll fade to one side and then I'll recover low and I'll grab ledge. And then usually I have a better time going from the ledge than I do from above her.
And the only problem I have with that though is like if playing is though I guess if you drift back and you have the opportunity to get to ledge, it's just like if I get edge guarded, like Cloud has such bad recovery that it's like, you know, and like it's crippling at some points. Like he is a super strong character, but like his recovery is so bad without limit.
So it's kind of like you can pick either to try and like stay above them or to go to ledge, but you kind of want to mix those two things up. Even if you could like get to that side and then use the up B up and come down with it super far and grab ledge with it, like that sort of thing. You just want to like mix up what you're doing. Basically you need to do what your opponent doesn't expect, because if your opponent expects a down air, they'll wait for it and then try and hit you right after it's done or hit you before it starts. If they expect you to air dodge, they'll wait for it. So it really just becomes a guessing game of like what is my opponent thinking I'm going to do. And
that makes sense.
And that's why sometimes options that are like a little bit riskier are a little bit like kind of silly. Like even like single hit cross slash is kind of risky, and it's kind of like a weird option to stall. Or like shining as Fox.
But that's what I was gonna say.
If it screws with your opponent's like expectations, it can be something that's really valuable.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll definitely try and implement that.
So I've got like two little things. Um, so the first one is just about posturing. So, so how exactly do I explain this? It just like you're doing things in neutral that make it very obvious, of what you're going to do next. So for example, a lot of the times right before you down tilt, you will sit in crouch for like a second and a half. And it's just very easy to tell that, like, rather than having to react to the down tilt, now I just have to react to the crouch, right? And I know that you're going to do a down tilt immediately after. So just be really aware of that sort of like posturing sort of stuff. There's a couple other situations too that I can't exactly point out right now, but I'll keep watching for them. But that sort of like posturing thing is something that will get you punished in a lot of situations. It basically like takes down the reaction time that your opponent will have to have, like, if that makes any sense.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. I mean, that's something that like I wish more people would have pointed out to me, because it's not something I really recognize, but I know exactly what you're talking about, because that's a bad habit that I have.
Yeah. So that's the first thing, and then the second thing is just Cloud has a really, really good advantage state, and I don't think you're taking advantage of it enough.
You mean with limit?
I just mean like you were hitting me with like an up air, and then rather than like trying to chase with more up airs or try and keep me in the air, you were letting me down to the ground and then just charging limit.
Yeah.
And I think like a much more effective way to charge limit is just to keep me in the air and keep hitting me and just build it by hitting me.
Okay.
Especially because like a fast faller like Fox is like really kind of hard for him to land. In most matchups, it's not really worth it to just like get limit. Like when you get limit, it definitely, I guess like the reward for getting limit, the small amount of limit that you will get from like just charging it after you hit somebody, isn't worth the like 25, 30, 40% you could get just by successfully juggling them a couple of times.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
So yeah, try and gauge that risk reward, and if they're like off stage or something and you know you can't really do anything besides charge limit, then by all means like charge limit, wait for them to get closer to the stage, and then punish them when they get up to the stage again, you know?
Yeah.
Or charge if they're too high in the air, you know, charge limit while you wait for them to get closer, and then pressure them when they get into your kind of like effective range.
Gotcha. I blue jumped as soon as you hit fair.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Oh. That was okay. That was that's also a bad habit that I notice I have. Like as soon as I go down a stock, like super early, I mean, it's more of a mentality thing.
Yeah.
But like as soon as I go down a stock with something stupid like that, I just start playing really risky. When
Yeah.
in reality, a lot of the opponents that I play, I could beat with one stock. I just act stupid.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. It just comes down to like you trying to make it back with risky things.
Yeah, exactly. Like trying something stupid, like trying to get a down air off stage and hoping to recover back.
Yeah. And with Cloud, you really don't have to do that. There are some characters that like have like awful neutrals, and sometimes you'll have to just kind of go for an all or nothing. But Cloud is definitely not worth it. Yeah, those techs are kind of hard on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oof.
Man, I keep trying to go for a grab, and you just have all these options that are much faster.
Yeah, and that's true. So I guess two more things that like are kind of related. So the first one is just is I guess to try and think about your rhythm a little bit, which is something that not a lot of people think about, but what's basically happening is you're doing one thing and it's like not connecting or it's whiffing or whatever, and then you immediately do another thing.
Yeah.
And just from knowing like Cloud's frame data and like, or not necessarily his frame data even, but just like how long his moves generally last and stuff, I can tell when something else is like about to happen. So it's just as easy as like reacting to the second thing rather than just having to punish the first thing. Because sometimes punishing like the first thing is really hard, but if you just wait for the second thing, then it's really easy to punish. So
you're saying like sometimes I should just do nothing instead of the second option?
Not necessarily do nothing, but like do something that isn't like committal.
Yeah.
So like either just like short hop back or like dash back then dash forward, you know, like you just want to make sure that like your timings are mixed up too. Because definitely they're like the two facets of like being unpredictable are definitely the rhythm is really important and the option you choose. Because if you're choosing the same option, or if you're choosing different options every time, but the rhythm is the exact same, it's just as easy for like somebody like a Bent0 to just witch time it, you know? Doesn't matter which option you pick. If she reads the rhythm on it, that's going to be a punish. And there are lots of cases where characters have punish options like that. And then kind of the inverse, which is the second thing for me, is I'm doing a lot of stuff, like you mentioned, that just like I hit your shield and then I immediately do something else and you're trying to punish it, but it's not actually punishable, and then you end up getting hit. So don't be afraid to, if you see yourself getting caught by stuff like that, the option is just to wait for that second thing to happen and then punish that. So like, for example, I was doing like forward tilt on your shield and you try and grab that and I just go immediately into jabs.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the jabs are a lot easier to punish than the forward tilt. You just wait for the jabs, then you either shield grab after jab 2 or you wait till the rapid jab happens and you punish with something stronger.
Okay.
So basically just you don't have to punish the like fast things. Sometimes just putting your opponent in that state of pressure is more valuable than actually going for a punish that might not be there.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I am understanding like what you were just critiquing. Because now I see myself doing it. Oh man,
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think if you turned that, you could have recovered. Which I'm sure you're probably trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's definitely like a super momentum based matchup. But I think there's a lot more you could be getting off of your punishes, which is like obviously difficult. Like it's not like it's something that's like super easy to do, but I think your punish game for Ryu could be a lot more effective.
Yeah, oh definitely. I mean, like I'm not too familiar with Ryu in general, so like I don't know. It's just
Wait, no, I mean Fox is a momentum based matchup.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. But yeah, I don't know. Like Fox, like it's still like you were saying, like after the second jab, like I was trying to time that, but I don't know. I think the safer option, since I'm not that great, is just wait until the end of rapid jab.
Yeah. Nice. So another thing I'll mention is just like option selection at ledge. When like I'm on ledge, I was kind of able just to like wait on ledge until you did something that was laggy and then come up from ledge safely. So I'd say like try and play a little bit more reactive at ledge rather than like proactive and trying to like call options out. Like it seemed like you were trying to like call out jumps really hard or call out neutral get-ups really hard with like forward air on them and stuff. And it's just like I don't think it's really worth it. I'd say watch Bent0 Cloud. He has some of the best like ledge trapping in the game right now. And what he'll do is he'll just stand and shield at neutral get-up range. And if you neutral get up, he grabs you, he throws you back off, keeps you in disadvantage. If you jump, he'll cover your landing with up air and keep you in disadvantage. If you roll, he turns around and grabs you. And if you drop down and aerial his shield, then he just like jabs out of shield, or he like forward tilts out of shield and pushes you back off stage again. Or just grabs it and throws you off again.
Yeah.
And just like, even though all of those options are technically like lower reward options, the fact that
safe.
Yeah, exactly, they're safe, they aren't going to get you punished, and they keep your opponent in disadvantage for a long period of time, which is extremely important.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say like I just need to start playing like smarter, not I guess harder. Like I think like I try to like do all this stuff that like will, you know, have potentially very high reward, but it's usually so hard to pull off that like it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's usually just not quite worth it to go for. Unless, of course, you know for sure it's going to hit, and sometimes that's not reasonable to know.
Yeah.
So you see how that was kind of like waiting for the second thing? Rather than trying to punish your back air, I just waited for the forward tilt. Oh god, that was really bad. Nice, yeah, that's sort of like reactionary edge guard is so much more effective.
Yeah.
Than what was happening before, so that was really, really good.
Yeah, it felt a lot better. As soon as I like start focusing on how I play instead of just playing, if that makes sense, like, oh, here's what's not working. I guess instead of just like going on autopilot, which is a bad habit.
Yeah. Shoot, I had something I was gonna mention, but I don't remember what it was. Shoot, I don't remember what it was. Oh, yeah. So one habit that I like am noticing now is just be really careful about rolling out of the corner. It's one of the habits that like is kind of like the most intuitive, or like most like reflexive kind of as a player. It's just kind of like I need to get out of the corner, you know. So you roll. But there's like it's happened quite a few times where I've like dash attacked into the corner, and you could have just like grabbed the dash attack or something, and you just roll out of the corner instead, just because you feel like you have to get out of the corner.
Yeah.
So just be really careful about knowing, going for those punishes rather than just like rolling out of the corner, as well as just like making sure to use other options to get out of the corner in those situations than just rolling. Sometimes just like maybe like full hop down airing past, or like things of that sort of like things like that, just to mix things up and make sure that your opponent isn't going to be able to call you out for those options. Oh my god.
Yeah, so there's a point right there. I don't know what move you were doing, but I went to grab, and I like mistimed it. I don't know. I can't really think of like the exact moment that it happened, but like I was like, you did something, and I went to grab, and I just got punished super hard for it.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of shit I do with Fox that makes grabbing a really tough punish. Like, I come down with Nair a lot, and I mix up whether I'm gonna land on top, like in front of you or behind you. And then also I dash attack in ways that'll either make me in front of you or behind you. And then the other one is just like auto canceled back air is super good, and I don't know if that was it. I like doing auto cancel back air up tilt really often. So that could have been it too. And that sort of thing is just kind of like a knowledge game in like knowing what you can and can't punish, as well as if you are expecting me to do something that's going to cross you up, turning around before you shield is something that will like help that immensely. So it's something that like people will do against like Diddy, or I guess like Fox, where if you're like expecting monkey flip and you think it's gonna cross you up, you just turn around, you shield the opposite direction, and then when it crosses you up, you're ready to just like grab out of shield rather than having to drop shield, turn around, grab, you know?
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
So that's one thing that you can do to kind of like get around that issue, but that's also just one of kind of like Fox's strengths as a character. So you can see that roll habit there, hey?
Yeah. That's definite death.
Yeah. So
I should have just charged limit though. I didn't even think of it.
Yeah, just be really careful about jumping immediately out of hit stun, especially as Cloud, because losing your jump as Cloud is basically a death sentence. So that was definitely a situation too, where just like jumping out of hit stun kind of cost you the stock.
I did try to jump out of hit stun and I didn't have a jump. So I went to up B and then you hit me with Firefox, and then I tried to up B again and then you killed me with fair.
You didn't actually have your jump because you jumped out of hit stun earlier. So what I did is I did dash attack, forward tilt, and then I did run off forward air, and the run off forward air caught your jump. And then after that, I did my Firefox, and you couldn't jump, so you just got hit by it. And you tried to up B. So it's just like being really careful about where you use your jump and looking very carefully for the circle as well to see if you managed, or if you actually like end up losing it.
Yeah.
That's something that I haven't seen like you do a ton of jumping out of hit stun, but just be like super careful, especially around the edge. Characters that aren't Fox won't punish it as hard, but it's something to think about.
I just have like a really bad like jump and roll habit. I feel like I just jump very predictably and roll very predictably, and I noticed that, but it's just like a hard habit for me to break.
Of course, yeah, making habits is a lot more difficult than breaking habits. The big thing about fixing something like that is you just really want to make sure that while you're trying to fix those habits, you don't stop doing those things.
Yeah.
And you don't create a habit with a different option. Because those options aren't even bad options. It's just that they are becoming very predictable.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. So after this, can we play Bent0? Because I actually, after our lesson, I have a weekly to go to, so...
Yeah, for sure.
I went to jump and I died instead of jumping.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not mean to do that.
Oh god, I clipped the stage, and then back air has so much end lag that I just like... I meant to do falling forward air, and because I clipped the stage, it turned me around, and I ended up getting back air instead.
Yeah, I just saw that because like I'm watching stream as we play, and like I saw the little like delay, and then I see you just fall with back air out.
Yeah.
So I typically play Cloud versus Bent0, but in like times of desperation, I will play Captain Falcon. I only do that because after what was it? Big House or Frostbite, where Fatality beat Salem 3-0.
Yeah.
I realized it wasn't as volatile of a matchup as I thought it would be.
It definitely is. I'll tell you basically the reason why Salem lost to Fatality there, and that's because what Salem likes to do is he likes to try and play really reactive and tries to like punish people for things that they do like on reaction. And you can't really do that with Fatality or with Falcon. Like, just, like, trying to play reactive against such a fast character is such a, like...
Yeah.
But that's why you see, like, Mistake and Lima just, like... And Zac just, like, destroy Fatality. Like, they hardly get, touched. So it's definitely, like, interesting. It's definitely something you can do with Bent0s that are like, playing defensive. And you can try and make them play defensive, but if they're just throwing out hitboxes, sometimes it's like really, really hard to do anything as Falcon.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Dive kick combos are like super risky, but if the dive kick connects, it's just like usually a guaranteed kill off the side.
Yeah, that's my problem against Bayo is like there's so many options that she has that I am completely unaware of.
Yeah.
Or that like since I mean what I've noticed is regionally like Bayos aren't a big issue. It's only when you get to the top tier that they are. So like regionally you aren't sure if that Bayo is going to be able to connect something off of some risky move or if they're just going to kill themselves.
Which is, yeah, it's definitely the case, and I definitely agree with that. You get to somebody like Mistake or Lima, and it's like they are going to kill you off everything, and they're going to use a ton of different options. But definitely, regional Bayos, you won't have that much fear against. Ooh, that was bad DI.
Wow, that was not intended. I did not mean to lead shot that.
Nice. So yeah, that was kind of an example of the whole like you do one thing and then immediately do another. That can be like a bad habit, but they are definitely worked out for you. So just be aware that it's happening and stuff. Make sure that you're thinking about it.
Yeah, no, I understand. I don't mind the Bayo matchup too much, because like I think that she dies at such low percents and Cloud has like, or at least the Cloud like that. As long as I can stay on stage, I have a pretty decent chance.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so it is up to 2:55 here, and I do have to get ready for my next lesson here.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So I'd say the main things to kind of iron out are just the jumping out of hit stun habit and the rolling out of ledge habit are like the two big ones.
Okay.
And then after that, make sure to work on just like ledge trapping. Don't go for like super committal stuff, you know, do the reactionary ledge trapping stuff because it's super good. And it's really underutilized. And then besides that, I'd say just mix up options. out of disadvantage more, like we were talking about earlier. So like air dodging at different times. I guess that comes down to rhythm. Like all of that kind of comes down to rhythm, is choosing different options as well as choosing them at different times, using things like cross/1 to kind of like throw off your opponent's rhythm when they're trying to juggle you and that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, but I appreciate it. I'll definitely look into getting another lesson probably like sometime next week though.
Okay,
if you're
awesome.
Be doing them.
Yeah, I'll be doing these for a while.
Okay. All right, thanks man. Have a good one.
You too, dude. All right.